Chapter 2: Time and Forgiveness. Tim is off on a search to rescue the princess. She has been snatched by a horrible, evil monster. This happened because Tim made a mistake. Not just one. He made many mistakes during the time they spent together all those years ago. Memories of their relationship have become muddled, replaced wholesale, but one remains clear. The princess turning sharply away, her braid lashing at him with contempt. He knows she tried to be forgiving, but who can just shrug away a guilty lie, a stab in the back? Such a mistake will change a relationship irreversibly, even if we have learned from the mistakes and would never repeat it. The princess's eyes grew narrower. She became more distant. Our world, with its rules of causality, has trained us to be miserly with forgiveness. By forgiving too readily, we can be badly hurt. But if we've learned from our mistakes and become better for it, shouldn't we be rewarded for the learning rather than punished for the mistake? What if our world worked differently? Suppose we could tell her, "I didn't mean what I just said," and she would say, "It's okay, I understand." And she would not turn away, and life would really proceed as though we had never said that thing. We could remove all the damage, but still be wiser for the experience. Tim and the princess lounge in the castle garden, laughing together, giving names to the colourful birds. The mistakes are hidden from each other, tucked away between the folds of time. Safe. Hello and welcome back to Piece of the Puzzle. I hope you enjoyed that little intro because today we are starting a brand new series playing through Braid. Apart from having this deep philosophical storyline, this is a wonderful little indie puzzle platformer developed by Number None, and it's all about time manipulation, which, if you know me, you'll know is a theme very close to my heart. I do love anything to do with time travel, so if you know of any other games which feature time travel as a core theme, then let me know, because I'd love to give them a go. But for now, let's start Braid. Here we go. But before we do that, a quick editor's note. During my last series, Robin Allen completed and released Black Shift 2. Naturally, I jumped on it straight away on the day of release, and I've started my playthrough. So that series will follow after this one. However, I have also started a new job in the last month, which is good for us to be out of the COVID-induced self-employment. However, it does mean I have less time to record. So I will try and keep up the weekly videos, but after this series, they may just have to come as and when they are ready. I do have a handful of shorter games recorded over lockdown, including Hapland. Thanks for that recommendation, Drive Time with Kevin. So they may pop up from time to time too. And if you have any recommendations, please do let me know in the comments below. But for now, let's get back to Braid. So here we go. Use the arrow keys to move. Okay. So straight into the game. No menu or anything like that, he says, just as the message comes up to say press escape if you want the menu. There's a lovely star constellation above us there that will feature later in the game. And here we go into our house. This is the level select for the game, if you like. World 2 is available for us, incidentally. I'm not quite sure why they didn't start with Chapter 1, but here is the goal. We need to get up into that attic, and to do so we need to complete each world, and that will give us another section of this ladder. So let's get started on World 2. here's the story we saw at the beginning, and I just want to draw your attention to that last little sentence. Their mistakes are hidden away from each other, tucked away between the folds of time. Safe. And that's a bit of a clue to the main mechanic in this game, which we'll see very shortly. Now let's go into this door 3, and it says 3 easy pieces. So, okay, so standard platform rules. You can run around. It's spacebar to jump, as we are told on the first level, and we can climb scenery to get around. Right, down here, just beneath me here, is a puzzle piece. That's one of the main objectives of this game. We'll find lots of these hidden around the levels, and at some point later on we'll be given the chance to put those pieces together. Now this is one of our enemies. It looks a little bit like an enemy you might see in Mario. And you take them out in a very similar way. You'll see a lot of parallels between this game and Mario. That is one of them. And there's a few other shameless nods to the classic platformer later on. Now if you bounce on more than one of these guys, as you just saw, you bounce a little bit higher each time, so that's a useful mechanic. And that's the first section complete. Now, before I continue, I want to show off the core mechanic in this game. So if I hold down the shift key, time will start going backwards. And using this mechanic, you can hide your mistakes in the folds of time, as suggested in the story. So while holding down shift, you have control of time. I can use the up and down arrow keys to go forward and backwards quicker. And if I want to, I can go all the way back to the beginning of this level. You wouldn't normally do this, but it's just to demonstrate. And while holding down shift, I maintain the time dilation paradox, whatever you want to call it. And I can fast forward again through all of my actions. So this isn't particularly practical example, but it just shows what you can do. So actually there is no way to die in this game, and in fact you can't make a mistake in theory, because you can just reverse time and cover up your mistakes. So we'll see that come into play later on. There are some times when you may make a mistake and you have to reverse time to correct it. There are other times when you need to use that feature, and we'll see those as we play through. But this, we've just come across a locked door, and I've picked up the key, and I can use that once to get through, and it's dropped now. It's useless. However, I could reverse time if I so pleased. And that would let me pick up the key again, but it would also lock the door, obviously, because it wasn't open a moment ago. But we'll play more with that feature as we go. There is another puzzle piece. I can't remember exactly how many there are on each level. I'm not sure if it varies, but there is a second for this area. And here is our puzzle board. I won't do this now, but this is where we can put these pieces together and find out what the bigger picture is. Let's come back to that later. There is a piece up there and another one just there, and these are both out of reach to me at the moment. So that's telling us we can come back to this area and capture them later. Now this is a familiar area. I say that because we have to complete this puzzle in every world. You repeat this puzzle, and there's a slight variation each time. So let's complete this now. I may have messed up already. Yeah, so each of these creatures, as I kill them, they're getting crossed off at the top, and once I've killed them all, that door in the top that door in the top right-hand corner will open. But I don't think I can cross this gap, so I'm going to reverse time to before I kill this guy, because I think I'm going to need him. And there I let go of shift, and so I've created a new timeline, if you like. I can't pick up again that old timeline. That old timeline is now lost in the fold of time. I'll probably repeat that phrase numerous times. Yeah, there we go. That's how we get past this. Oops. Oh, that was close. Let's take out this last guy and the door should open. There we go. And there is our one puzzle piece for this section. So let's move on. I really should say piece of the puzzle, shouldn't I? There's one piece of the puzzle in this section. And there's another piece of the puzzle above us there, which can't reach just yet. So I'm guessing we need to bounce on someone. This guy will probably do it if we can bring him across. So yeah, this is a little timing puzzle. Let's, yeah, that should do. Oh, not quite. He didn't quite make it. Let's try that again. Looks a little bit better. Yep, here he comes. So now he's on my side. I can jump on his head, get a little extra bounce. And there's another puzzle piece ready for me to build the picture later. Okay, moving on. This section was called Leap of Faith, wasn't it? Oh, and there is the leap. So there's a piece of puzzle over there. I think I should be able to get that if I time this right. I'll bounce. That was not good timing. I'll bounce on his head. Nope. Oh, not quite. Now you will become sort of over-reliant on this rewind feature. That was far too long. I want to just wait a moment before running. There we go, nicely timed. Cool. And there is the next piece. So now let's do this leap of faith. And die on the spikes. Oh, there's more spikes there. So let's pretend that didn't happen. And now it didn't. Oh, yes it did. And now it didn't. There we go. Ooh, that was a bit of luck. So there was a puzzle piece there, which I didn't need to go back, but nice to see what happened. That guy fell down from here, didn't he? So that was close. Let's get out of his way. And that is all four. Oops. He's coming. That is all four pieces for this section. So let's move on. And here is another nod to Mario. This sort of killer plant coming out of a drain pipe there. And another very obvious nod to Mario is this. I'm sorry, but the princess is in another castle. Yeah, definitely no plagiarism going on here at all. But that is World 1 complete. Now we can edit the puzzle here, and we can move pieces around, but I'm not going to do that just yet, and the reason being is we need to get those last two pieces, and I'll show you how to do that now. I do remember this one quite well. The other worlds I am not sure I remember quite so well, but we'll see. Now we can see what these numbers on top of the doors mean. There are two puzzle pieces left in this section to find, and so I think that's what that 2 is referring to. Now I could go in here. You'll see the world has reset. The door is closed again. The key's back over there on that island. But actually, because the puzzle pieces were at the end of this section, I'm going to go back to here. And I'm actually going to go in through this door and go back through this one, and that's just a bit of a shortcut to the end of this section. Now, we need to get up onto this platform to try and get that piece up there. And there's a neat little feature that isn't immediately obvious, but if you notice in these puzzle pieces, that thing in front of me here, in fact this thing here, looks a bit like a platform, doesn't it? So if we position these accordingly, we can actually use them and interact with the puzzle as if it's a platform. And if we time this right, I can jump and move that under my feet, and probably another one about there, so I can jump up to that, and there we go, we land on that. And yeah, it's a nice little feature, not immediately obvious, and I remember when I first discovered that was a eureka moment. That was very satisfying to find. Right, okay, so the next thing we need to do is similar. We need to get this guy down off the platform so we can jump on his head. And the way to do that is similar. Let's use this platform now and just line it up over here. It's about there, I think, do you remember? Yes, and as soon as he's on that, I'm just going to take it out from under his feet. And here he comes. And now we can easily use him to jump up and grab that piece. Fantastic. Right, so that is World 1 complete. We might as well just do this puzzle now, and I won't bore you with all of the clicking and dragging, so we'll do this in a time lapse. Here we go. And there we go, that is our first world complete, or world 2 if you prefer. And it shows, I presume this is Braid, I don't know, knocking over a wine bottle on top of a table. Maybe that was one of his mistakes. Oh, and is that the princess just in the corner there? I've not noticed her before, behind the table. So I wonder if these are actually telling part of the story. I don't remember, so we'll discover that as we go, I think. But let's quit back out to the menu, or to the to our house, our level select, and there is World 1 complete. And that is the end of this episode. So, thank you very much for watching. I do hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, please leave a like. And if you happen to be playing along, then let me know how you're getting on in the comments below. If you know of any other games like this that feature time travel, or any other puzzle games that you'd like to see me feature, please let me know in the comments below. But for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you all again soon for the next piece of the puzzle. Bye-bye.